chance to get back in that top 4, and then they just lost the game they really should have won. And don't get me wrong, that game really smarted for Forest Hill to lose against Kilsyth, because it was that opportunity to get themselves 2 games clear, or 3 games clear, and really cement that top 4 and mean that the rest of the teams were just playing out the rest of the season. And also in special comments today is Ray Baird. Ray, you've seen a few games in Division 4. It's very important for Forest Hill, but Glen Waverley, it'd be good to see just how well they are going. Yeah, we've heard a lot about them. I haven't seen them in person this year, but so I'm really interested to see how they go. So that is the siren to start the game here today. It's round 12 football in Division 4. Glen Waverley Hawks versus Forest Hill. And it's balled up and it's straight down to ground level, where it'll be with Forest Hill claiming the ball but not going too far. So Parthenides will win the tap for Glen Waverley, but already a huge pack of players have gone into the middle of Central Reserve, and the ball goes forward for Glen Waverley, but it might just not clear the congested centre area. It's bobbling around, picking up his Owsley, and he's been swarmed upon and taken in a tackle by Sullivan. So there'll be some interesting matchups. We'll get the special commentators to look around the ground. Again, Parthenides uses his height ground level. It's Potts who kicks it, a bit of a dribbler, into the forward 50. The first entry for the Hawks. Push in the back, though, will relieve the pressure for Forest Hill, and it's a free kick to Denham. The Denham's kick out towards centre wing. One-on-one contest. Foot race there between Mitch Potts and Timmy Johnston. Johnston wins out. Nice intelligent chip kick over the top, and away come the Zebras down the far side. The kick in towards full forward. Plenty of flyers there, paddled away there by Dunn for Glen Waverley, and out come the Hawks on the near side here through Ahmed. He just checks upfield to see what's on offer. His kick out towards centre wing, and going back with the flight of the footy there was Paulie Sinden, and Ahmed calling for it in short. Play continues. Here's the kick now in towards centre half. Brilliantly read there by Gavin Willoughby, and just slow play the play down here on the centre wing area. Just 90 seconds played here in this first term. His kick up towards the 50 now here for the Zebras, and a good mark taken out there by Pincott. He's about 55 from home. Looks like he's going to back himself and pump this one goalward. Slight breeze blowing northeasterly across the ground. We'll go down boundary side to Brett Beston in a sec. As Pincock lines up from the 50, his kick is just a shade to the near side, and just the minor score. It's Forest Hill 1 behind. Glen Waverley yet to score. Let's go down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Pretty nice down here. The ground isn't too bad. It's a little bit slippery in patches, but it's quite firm and there's not a lot of breeze down here. So sun is out at the moment, and I think it's going to hopefully stay this way for hopefully most of the afternoon. So Musa Amin marked the kick in. So just watch out for the two Amins, with Musa playing in defence and Adam, the great goal scorer for Glen Waverley Hawks. So we'll try to clarify that as we go, but mainly if it's in defence, it won't be Adam, as now Glen Waverley clear their defensive area, go to the middle of Central Reserve. They might get a runner bursting onto it. Good gallop now for Broad. He gets on the run, and now where's Amin? Just shakes off his opponent, leads onto the ball. It's got a contest for it. It's knocked in front of it. They're spilling over each other, with Pickering falling over as he went for the ball, and he falls on the ball, and the umpire will ball it up. I think that's one of the ways that Glen Waverley will do today. They'll run the ball very, very wide, and he was super quick. Well, Pickering's actually got the free kick, because as he fell on the ball, they all fell on him, and that means he's been rewarded with a free kick, even if it was very unintentional for Forest Hill to concede it. No, it was actually when he was getting up. Was it? Yeah, it wasn't in the actual part of the play. It was when he was getting up. Willoughby put his arm across his shoulder, and he's called the too high. So it'll be Pickering having Glen Waverley's first shot at goal from 40. Leverages the left boot. He puts it to the left post and curls it in. And it's Glen Waverley's first goal on the board. One straight, 6 points, leading Forest Hill by 5. And that was a fantastic kick from the right-hand pocket. I reckon he's done that at training 100 times, and particularly probably all this week too. Now, that was a fantastic kick, and that's just the ability of, taking advantage of the home ground advantage. And stupidity on Willoughby's behalf if you watch the replay back. Well, away that free kick. Was it soft or somewhat deserved? No, it was just silly. Yeah.
So 1 straight 6 leads Forest Hill 1 behind. 4 minutes played here in this first term out at Central Reserve. The tap one down. Potts gets foot to ball after he was tackled, but Forest Hill pump it through Owsley. And the mark taken there just inside 50 here for Forest Hill. They kick it now in towards the direction And well, unable to take the mark there was Palmer. The move ball socket off the ground, and this is going to beat everyone over the boundary line, about 55 from home for the Zebras on the near side of the ground.
Stephen Pym appealing for deliberate, but you'll find they don't pay that in the Eastern Football League. That's an AFL rule.
Sam Gross should have taken that mark.
He should have taken that mark, yeah. You've got to take advantage of every opportunity.
So boundary throw in, half forward flank, near side of the ground now here for the Zebras. Parthenides wins the tap double-handed. It pulls loose on the deck. Good hands there by Pincott. And the Zebras turn the corner now here through Owsley. He pumps this one in towards the 50. One-on-one contest. And well, knocked down there by Glen Waverley. Plenty of players dive in. Armand's one of them, and this is Cardamone. And the ball locked up about 20 metres directly in front of the Zebras' goal.
Owsley's been off to a good start there in the centre in a few forward 50 entries so far, Ray.
Yeah, no, he's been very good, very prominent in the early stages.
Musa Min did well in tight, but his hand pass couldn't clear the pack, and it's holding the ball against Glen Waverley as the tackle flew in on the hand pass to it from a Min, and it was a very hot ball. And a great tackle there by Pincott. He trapped the ball in the tackle. The second tackle came in as Pincott's tackle was slipped, and the award goes to Parent, who was second one in there. And I don't think he ever had a chance to get rid of it. He just bumper barred his way out of one tackle to the other. And it's an award for Forest Hill for their endeavours. It's 20 metres out, and it's straight through the middle for Parent. And that is Forest Hill's first goal, 1-1-7 to Glen Waverley, 6 points. I just paused because I was wondering why he was holding the ball, but he took on 2 tackles effectively, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a bit stiff because you could probably argue he didn't have prior opportunity, but if you get round 1 and then you get round 2 and you still haven't disposed of the ball,
That's
the
right.
umpire doesn't have much of a choice but to call that, I suppose.
No, I didn't have a problem with the decision whatsoever. And that's the answer that Forest Hill needed. You know, for every goal that Glen Waverley kicked, Forest Hill have to answer. We can't let them get too far out in front.
Palmer's just lining up on a wing, by the way, after Martin Stillman wouldn't give away where he was going to start. He's right in front of us.
Umpire almost lost his footing there in that very muddy centre bounce area. Is that knocked down by Parthenides? In there is Davis as well for Forest Hill. Plenty of players in there, as well as Mitch Newman, one of the late inclusions here this afternoon. And he's just turned his white jersey into a black one. And we'll have a ball up. Again, Parthenides back into the ruck now against Stoneham, who's giving up at least 20-30 centimetres, and that's not going anywhere. And we'll have another ball up.
What Stoneham's doing, though, he's running and getting that leap, and we know that he has got a great leap.
So here comes the tap down, and bursting through now here is Sullivan now here for Glen Waverley. He pumps this in towards the full forward direction. It's loose on the deck. Pickering gets tackled there. Denham tries to clean up a loose footy, as does Ferguson. He gets a foot to ball. He gets back to his own 50, and a good mark taken here by Andrew Humphreys. He kicks this one in towards the direction of Ammon, and he's taken the mark in the forward pocket. Musa Ammon and Glen Waverley going to go back from a similar angle and a similar position they had their first goal from.
That was just a beautiful piece of play there by Sullivan, just to hit that ball with pace and put that ball into the forward 50 quickly. It's hard to stop.
They didn't panic, did they? They kicked the ball backwards to go forward.
And this is not Adam Amin, by the way.
It's Musa Amin, yes. So he'll line up from about 35 out, tight angle. His kick off the right boot is deadly accurate. It's the second goal of the afternoon for Glen Waverley. They lead 2 straight 12, Forest Hill 1-1-7. We played 8 minutes here in the first quarter.
Obviously, Glen Waverley Hawks know what position the forwards have got to get the ball in, because 2 goals have come from that same spot, and both of them straight over the goal umpire's head.
Absolutely, and Musa Amin says, anything you can do, brother, I can do better. Have a look at me.
Well, he's moved into the centre circle for his, so he's having an impact in this game. Started off the back of the square, now he's going into the middle. So Parthenides is changing where he runs from. He's not going to go directly towards the ruckman. He's going to come in from the side just to use his big body. And if Stoneham can jump over him, good luck, because he won't use him as a stepping stone towards the ball. So Parthenides plants himself in the centre circle, wins the tap, and Min gets involved. His hand pass is errant. It was chopped off by Davis. He just pushes it in front, and Gibbons works a hand pass off to a running teammate. Oh, just trying to get the skates there was Parent. Gets past him, but the ball by Cardamone was smothered, and Glen Waverley holding up nicely in defence for now. trying to pick up the ball there was Palmer. Finally dodges around 2, spears it into Pimmy, but Pimmy's not going to get there because the relieving defender takes an intercept mark in Dunn. So he's got to pass out wide and finds Broad. Broad's on the gallop just like he was earlier. Takes a bounce, or not a bounce, a touch on the ground so he can get an extra 15 metres. Parfenides just picks up the ball. Takes a while to get that far down to pick it up. So they've had to go backwards, Glen Waverley, to hold onto the ball. And eventually they get back to Dunn. So Dunn will go out wide and he finds that runner in Sullivan. He's got some good galloping room, heads it off to Sinden. Sinden looks at his options, goes to a one-on-one, nearly a mark for Ferguson, drops the ball to ground under pressure, and Forest Hill do well to get it at ground level and hold it up through Creek.
That was some very good rebound play from the Glen Waverley Hawks, Ray. Really, really quick, and I think that they definitely need to put some more forward.
Yeah, look, there's already evidence as why they're up on top of the ladder, the way they've started this game out.
So in goes Creek there for Forest Hill, and the ball forced over the boundary line deep in the forward pocket here for Glen Waverley.
Let's get some EFL scores around the grounds with Barry Cotts.
Yes, Barry Cotts here in the EFL Score Centre. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And Division 4, and it's Coldstream and Sylvan 117. Coldstream, no score.
So looks like we're going to have take 2 of that boundary throw-in. It was a little short. So it looks like Pickering's going to go do the rucking here against Stoneham here in the forward pocket. Stoneham with that leap, backhands this one down, but on the run, here they take it, Glen Waverley, and they've kicked their 3rd straight of the afternoon. Sullivan gets it, that's his first, and Glen Waverley 3 straight 18 lead. Forest Hill 117, 11 minutes gone first term.
And that was great play then from the throw in. That you know, any goal from a stoppage is very, very good. But I'm just looking at the setup of the Forest Hills. I just feel that their forwards, apart from Stephen Pym, their forwards are coming too far forward. They're getting the ball into that forward 50, but there's all Glen Waverley Hawks there. I would like to see that, you know, the likes of Cardamone and some of the other half forwards there just stay inside the forward 50, so that when you back your midfields into getting the ball to you.
And the midfielders have to be on the move in this centre clearance too. They're a bit stationary.
Rucks go at it. I think Stoneham won that one, but off the ground, tried to kick it off the ground. There was Pickering, but Forest Hill holding up nicely. Gibbons in the middle of the ground under some extreme pressure in traffic, hands it back to a teammate in Denham, who drops it under that pressure, and Glen Waverley advanced the centre forward just through pressuring Forest Hill.
Let's go to Barry Cotts in the score centre.
Yeah, Division 1, Bourne 117 lead Montrose, no score.
So centre forward for Glen Waverley. Parfenides one of the tap at the back of the pack. Kick forward by Humphreys. Gets it into the forward pocket right side, but Forest Hill read it well. And the defender is quick to gallop away. So he gets it to the wing. It's 2-on-1. It's suiting Glen Waverley. It's in the hands of Pickering. Hands it off to Eastman. He has to hurry, but he gets a short pass and spears it into his teammate, who's got plenty of room in Murray. Murray's going to try to get it to him in on the lead, but they're all over him in Forest Hill, surrounding him. And Denham chopped up in front and concedes a boundary throw in.
A great intercept spoil there by Denham. You know, it was all Glen Waverley Hawks, and he come across in front of the forward, and great defensive work.
And Maguire on him in, giving him no chance to get ahead of him in on the lead. So that was fantastic for Forest Hill. So it's a boundary throw in, 40 metres around from Glen Waverley's goals. Rucks go at it. Stoneham wins the tap at ground level. Ousley tries to work his way out of the extreme pressure. Now getting it as Palmer, and he just walks around the opponents, and he gets it in the middle ground. Klein might get onto it. He lets it go through, which is good. Kick off the ground for Forest Hill. Makes 30 metres, but it's all Glen Waverley in defence. Eastman will have help, and he hands it off to Dunn. Dunn's got a runner in Eddie. Eddie's looking for the outer wing option, and he does find a man on his own, and it's just Hodges. Hodges takes his time, tries to get the pass to Ferguson, goes past him. This is where Forest Hill have their numbers, and in defence they'll hold up quite nicely.
As Newman's kick out towards centre wing and evades Johnston there, but he loses the contest, and Glen Waverley do the rowing, send it into the centre of the ground there for Parthenides, has to take it on one hand. It's handball back to go forwards here for the Hawks, and they kick it now up towards centre half forward. Contested footy, no one's able to take the mark. Sinden trying to do the roving, as there is Gould there for Glen Waverley. As he's tackled, it bounces into the direction of Hodges here. He evades one tackle of Willoughby, gets a hand pass over the top, trying to break through here. The Hawks, a grubber of a kick picked up here by Potts. His handball finds Broad. He kicks in towards goal, and he's kicked it. 4 straight 24. Glen Waverley lead Forest Hill 117. 14 minutes played here first term.
You just see the pressure that Glen Waverley Hawks are applying to that Forest Hill defence. But what I said, Rolana, you notice that when
Yeah,
the
I
ball,
noticed it.
they're getting the ball inside their forward 50 Forest Hill, but there are no forwards there to assist Stephen Pym.
Let's go to the boundary line and we'll get some comment from Brett Beston.
Just wanted to tell you boys are very active on the Glen Waverley bench. There's a lot of changes being made, not quite so much on Forest Hill, so we'll see if that changes throughout the day.
So it's an interesting start to this game. Nearly 15 minutes gone. Glen Waverley 4 straight 24, making the most of their opportunities. Forest Hill 1-1-7. Rucks go out at the middle of the ground of Central Reserve. It's a neutralised ruck contest, but kicking it out there was Riddle, getting it long. And his kick goes all the way down to his Humphreys to the forward line. Spilt ball goes to the ground, and Forest Hill happy to hand it over the umpire for a ball up, 40 metres out from the Hawks' goal. So they're getting on top, Glen Waverley. They're just around the stoppages and the clearances. They're spreading quite nicely. As the ball goes forward from the tap and picking it up and running an open road is Gould, but the whistle goes. He sees a push, and this is very thankful for the Zebras to hear, because Gould ran into an open goal.
Free kick to Willoughby.
And it just at the moment to me looks like one side, Glen Waverley, is so much faster than Forest Hill. It looks like Forest Hill are treading water and Glen Waverley are running on top of that, on top of the grass.
Yeah, you're right, Alana. One thing that concerns me, particularly at the centre bounces, is that Forest Hill are allowing Glen Waverley Hawks to come from the back of the contest and run the ball forward. You've got to get some players on that side of the contest.
Let's go to Barry Cotts in the score centre.
Yeah, very quickly, Division 1, 2, 3, 15 ball, and Montrose no score, and Knox and South Croydon's 2 behinds each.
So Owsley's kick out now here to Dale. He pumps this one in towards centre wing, and a mark taken there by Parent. And he goes back and assesses options upfield. Doesn't have much on offer, so he kicks in short now here to Daniel Owsley. Owsley now dead on centre wing, pumps it in towards the forward 50. Plenty of players flying. Pims there. He's dealt with there by Steinfort. Pims gives chase, but he's beaten to the footy, but spilled there by Riddle. Pims dives in, ends up on the back. Steinfort wrestles him to the ground as well as players dive in there. Good tackle applied there by Parent, and we will have a ball up right on 50, half forward flank, far side of the ground.
The other thing Glen Waverley are doing really well, Ray, is they're pushing numbers back. There's about 5 on 1 then.
Yeah.
Parthenides wins the tap. Hodges wins the footy. Kicks this one up and towards centre wing. Great mark going back with a flight there by Dale. Almost anyway. Got ahead of myself. The ball spills over and we'll have a boundary throw in, much to the disagreement of Alana Coleman.
Oh, I thought Dale was a little stiff there. I thought he handled that.
No, I'd agree to completely. 17 minutes gone. 24-7 in favour of the Hawks out here at Central Reserve on Eastern 98.1 FM or streaming around the globe, efl.org.au. As Parthenides wins the tap, Hodges can't keep it in play and we'll get a boundary throw in dead on centre wing.
Hopefully the change of ruckman will, with Gross on Parthenides, might even up that ruck duel a little bit too and maybe see some difference in the clearances.
So on the scoreboard wing, it's Gross under man there against Parthenides, and Glen Waverley win it out of the back of the pack. They kick to centre forward. Some numbers here for Forest Hill just to hold up. Dumping the ball after being tackled was Palmer, and it's now a ball up just forward to the centre circle, Glen Waverley's end, and a bit of push and shove as Potts is in the mix. We'll get a boundary report from Brett Beston.
Just going to say, boys, Nathan Palmer's having a storming game for Forest Hill. He's been all over the ground in this first quarter.
He definitely held up quite nicely in the last passage of play. The ball up didn't make any ground for either of the sides. And it's going to be another ball up just outside 50 as Potts hands the ball back to the umpire as Glen Waverley attack. Again, the tap's won by Parthenides, but at ground level it just hits under the feet of the ruckman. But they will clear for Forest Hill. Long kick to centre forward. Pincott's the only option. He's got a heap of players to beat, and Eddie beats him to the ball, but spills it into the direction of Pincott, who can run back onto it. Hands it off to his teammate. Trying to get involved there was Owsley again. They go through the middle, and it's going to finish up in Palmer, who's got pace, but he hands it off to a running teammate. Short pass a bit fierce, but 2 grabs nicely marked. Well done there to Parent, who's already kicked a goal. It nearly got past him. He made the second grab out, and he gets to Pym in the pocket, uses his body, but the late spoil from Steinfort, who just reached over the left shoulder, and he put the fist into the ball and got it over the boundary line.
Far better by Forest Hill then. They had numbers inside the forward 50 for the first time this quarter.
But what an excellent spoil by Steinfort there, not to give away a free kick, not to completely discipline and use the angles really well.
So Glen Waverley deep in defence has been picked up by Murray. Hooks it around the corner. It suits him in. Couple of grabs at it, takes the mark, and he's going to relieve some pressure for the Hawks at halfback. He's surveying his options, kicks it close to the boundary line. Has he gone too close? It bit pushed into his pots, and the ball was pushed over the line from a spilt mark.
Yeah,
it's actually on the full, says the umpire, the boundary umpire, and the field umpire says, I agree. So we'll go boundary side as we have a stop in play.
There's no way that was out of the full, boys. I'm standing absolutely directly in line with it.
Tell the man on the mark then, Brett, because he's carrying on about it.
So Dale takes the kick from the wing, but he puts it where all Hawks, but Parfenides got over his head, would you believe? A man who's over 200 centimetres. Now Forrestal is still in it, picks it up. Cardamone picks up the ball in all the chaos and dribbles it through for a goal. So Forest Hill get their second. 2-1-13 to Glen Waverley Hawks, 4 straight 24. I think everyone was in shock that it cleared Parfenides, and Cardamone was going, well, just kick a goal.
That's
I know Ray's best mate just kicked a goal. I'm surprised that Ray's not cheering.
But it was far better by Forest Hill because they've been getting the ball in there, but this was one of the first times or second time that they've had numbers there.
Let's go to Barry Cotts in the score centre.
Yeah, Division 4, Coldstream and Sylvan. Coldstream 2-1-13 leads Sylvan 1-1-7.
Thanks, Barry. As we restart play in the centre of the ground, 4 straight 24 plays 2-1-13. The Hawks in front. Here comes the tap. Parthenides missed that one. Forest Hill gather the ball in. A hands out now here to Gibbons. He's dealt with there by Pickering, and it comes back the other way as the kick out towards the Armand direction there. Trying to take it on the bounce there. Pretty well dealt with there is Dale. Dropped the ball. Pincott managed to get the hand pass out, and Forest Hill get a kick out towards centre wing. Unable to take the mark there was Gavin Cruz, but held, says the umpire, and he's won himself a free kick. Dead on centre wing now here for the Hawks, near side of the ground. Surveying the territory ahead of him, not much on offer, so he pumps a high one in towards half forward. Armin's down with the flight. Dealing with him there is Scaluna, and he is sent over the boundary line, as is Ferguson. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Can I just ask, is the sun a factor down there? Because Parthenides, that one I thought he would have taken, but it seemed to have slipped through. There's been a couple of marks that have been taken. Is it a factor down on boundary side there, Brett?
Yeah, probably a little bit in that corner. I think it's probably going to go down behind the grandstand in the not too distant future, but it's probably a little bit there at the moment.
So another ball up here, dead on the 50 for Glen Waverley. That side of the ground, they've been pretty fortuitous on the scoreboard. 2 of their 4 goals have come from there. Here's Parthenides into the ruck, wins the tap down. Tackled there is Sullivan for Glen Waverley, and the umpire says holding the ball, and Forest Hill won themselves a free kick. Has taken now here by Scaluna. He gets the handball out over here to Owsley, who's been pretty prolific here for the Zebras so far. Takes one bounce and kicks it up towards centre wing. And going back there was Ferguson, picked up now here by Pickering, goes off the left, kicks in towards the forward 50. No one can take the mark. It's rode brilliantly here by Cook. He scrubbers one in towards the goal square. It's taken on one bounce by Gould, and he's kicked it behind. One behind. That's the first of the afternoon for the Hawks. They are 25 playing Forest Hill 13. As we are into time on here, 22 minutes gone, first quarter.
Daniel Owsley on that outer wing, Lana, he's been very good for Forest Hill.
Yeah, he probably just needed to get a bit more on that kick, but this open space, I think, suits the way he plays, and he'd be looking forward to today's game, definitely.
Denham kicks himself before kicking long out onto the Springvale Road side, outer wing, but it's all an uncontested mark in the end to Pickering, who marks for Glen Waverley Hawks, puts it to Ferguson in the back position, middle of the pack, takes a nice grab, just put his knee into the back of the guy in front of him, and put his jukes up and took a nice mark.
Pickering's had a really good start to the game as well for Glen Waverley. I mean, he kicked that goal earlier. That was a really nice mark and a really dangerous kick. And obviously, is it Ferguson that's got that ball now?
Yeah, so Ferguson's got it, looking for his first goal of the day. He's kicked 36 for the season in partnership with Adam Amin. It's prolific this year. So this is his first go at goal. He puts it just to the left, hooked it at the last moment, and it's a minor score. Glen Waverley Hawks stretch their lead. They're 4-2-26, leading Forest Hill 2-1-13, 23 and a half minutes gone, first term.
And should Powell have punched it there, Ray?
Well, Powell was in front. You know, he should have taken the mark.
Let's go to the score centre with Barry Cotts.
Yeah, Murrelbach 4-1-25 lead, Monturnus South 1 goal straight 6.
Thanks, Barry. Is this one dealt with here by Eastman, and he's just forced to grab this one. It goes over the boundary line. We'll get a boundary throw, and we got a free kick. Deliberate, according to the umpire. So Glen Waverley have a free kick. It's going to be Danny Eastman to take this one, about 65 from home. and he goes inside the 50. Plenty of players flying there. One is Ferguson, and he takes it too easily, Raybet.
Yeah, too easily. Look at that. Those defenders of Forest Hill there, they've got to cut off those leads by the Glen Waverley forwards.
It's Powell playing on him, so it should be that's the second one that he's let slip too easily.
But you can't completely blame Powell. He needs help from his back flankers. Come in and cut off the lead.
So Ferguson kicked 2 against Forest Hill in their first meeting this season. Only got 1 behind this afternoon. And can he make it his first? The kick hasn't got the carry. The back is Ahmed. And just like that, Glen Waverley are going to have a shot from dead out. Excuse me, that was Adam Ahmed, not Musa. And he goes back and kicks it straight through. That's a goal here to Glen Waverley. And that was easy as you like. 5-2-20-32 plays Forest Hill 1-1 2-1-13 25 minutes gone, time on.
No excuses from the Forest Hill backs end. Look, Amin's only a small man and he's outmarked all of them. Look, they had 3 or 4 defenders there, Forest Hill, and not one of them went to punch the ball.
I don't know whether they thought they could mark it or should they punch it, and then when they're thinking about it, Amin just judged it.
Well, even if the guys in front, they've obviously got to go for the mark, but they had players behind Amin also who could have gone for the punch, and they just didn't do it.
Here's the tip: don't think, just do.
So let's think about the scoreboard for a second. It's Glen Waverley Hawks 5-2-32 leading Forest Hill 2-1-13. It's a 19-point lead to the Hawks as we approach quarter time. Rucks go at it. Parfenides wins the tap forward, trying to run onto the ball was Riddle. He kicks it off in front of himself. That can't be a claim mark by Denham. It only went 2 metres before it got to him, but he stood up in some pressure. Dale's there to help. His kick is a bit of a scrubber after he gets bumped off the ball. Now at the back, it's at the wing, it's Newman. You have to read the sheets again after the late inclusions, and Newman came into the play, got about a 40-metre advance. Close to the line. It's out of the full, actually, so not the best kick. Riddle takes the mark from the kick in the board, and his long driving kick to Ferguson in the hole there. Dale, great courage.
Exactly what they've got to do, Forest Hill. Put your body on the line and stop the mark.
And his kick was a beauty. Spears into Gibbons, who didn't have to move a muscle as he took the mark. Gets it onto Newman, who runs onto the ball. Spears a pass in. Won't just be well directed, but Cardamone tried to keep it in. Couldn't do so, and it's out of bounds in the pocket.
Dale's actually been good since he's come onto the field. He started on the bench and come into the back line and had a few handy touches so far this quarter.
He's been very good.
So 19-point lead here to Glen Waverley as the ball comes in. Pim's doing the rucking, goes straight off the boot, and it's a little inaccurate. As trying to keep that one alive was Ian Taylor, couldn't do so. Boundary throw in forward pocket here for the Zebras.
They really need to snatch a goal here, Forest Hill, before the siren goes.
We are deep into time on. 27 minutes played here in this first term at Central Reserve. Parthenides into the ruck against Pims. Pims does the roving again. He puts one on goal, and he's kicked his first of the afternoon. And that's Forest Hill's third. They are 3-1-19. They trail Glen Waverley 32. Here, 27 minutes played first term.
Great ruck work then by Stephen Pym. He just nudged Parfenides forward of the ball, grabbed it, put it on his foot, and he certainly knows where the goals are.
He's probably thinking, I'm sick of all these lousy kicks coming in. I'll just do it myself. Stuff you guys.
Well, he probably yesterday morning didn't expect that he might be here today kicking the goals, so he's making the most of it.
Exactly right.
Those sore calves aren't very sore when he's running to celebrate.
Just sore during the warm-up.
So it's back in the middle of Central Reserve. That's a good goal in terms of the context of this contest. Glen Waverley, though, again win another centre clearance. They go out to wide on the half-forward flank. They bounce the ball, lose Pickering. Pincott's first onto it for Forest Hill. He's under a heap of pressure. Moose is on top of him. Another player from Glen Waverley Hawks slides underneath Pincott. So he became the meat and the sandwich, so to speak. And it's a ball up half-forward for Glen Waverley Hawks. We lead by 11 points, 28.5 minutes gone first term. Parfenides, good position, knocks it down to Riddle. He gets tackled as soon as he grabbed it, so no clear kick. Forest Hill got a couple of tacklers to beat, so that's great by Glen Waverley. When they don't have the ball, they're attacking the ball getter, and handing the ball back was Davis. So it's the rucks go out. Stoneham just jumped all over the top of Parfenides, who stood up and said, "What are you doing?" And then he taps it down to the ground, and no one can clear the decks.
Sullivan's been really good in these stoppages too, Ray.
Yeah, he certainly has.
Again, the rucks go at it. Riddle gets the kick. He kicks it to the boundary line where Amin will pick it up. This is Musa. He might just get a tackle. He ducks underneath it. Now the tackler comes in again. He'll have to be penalised, Musa. And Musa Amin did all the evasion he could, but he couldn't beat the tackler twice. And it's going to be a free kick, and it will go to Johnson, I think.
Yeah. He just needed to shake the throw a bit more to sell the candy to the umpire, I think.
I think he got stuck in the mud. The wheels were spinning and the car wouldn't go.
So Maguire's short kick comes outside as Forest Hill pump this in towards the half-back flank, trying to take this on the bounce. And, well, this one's going to dribble over the boundary line. Might beat Klein over the line, and does so as Pickering just escorts it over the one. That'll do it. First quarter in the books. Glen Waverley 5-2-32. They lead Forest Hill 3-1-19 after 1 quarter of play at Central Reserve. Goal kickers, for the first term, Evan Pickering with 1. Luke